Hello CoHmmunity, it's GB Pirate here, and as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm here with a very important and exciting announcement, and that is the CoHmmunity CoHtography CoHmpetition. That is a new $2,000 plus prize pool competition for community maps for Company of Heroes 3, and I don't want to keep talking. Let's dive right into this document here, announcing the things. I'm going to briefly go over this document. I'm going to say a little bit about the style guide because it's virtually unchanged, and then I'll have another video for map makers and then for a few judges just for some extra information about how the process is going to work and things like that. So without further ado, let's keep her moving. So, CoHmmunity CoHtography, a new map making competition from the Co-World Builders. This is the second mapping competition from the Co-World Builders Discord, and our goal is once again to make the best community maps from 1 versus 1 to 4 versus 4. Building off the success of the Co-World Builders Mapping Competition 2024, which saw the inclusion of first place winner Alamel Halfa into Quick Match, Ansaldo Genova in Elvadi's Summer Competition, Summer Map Improvement Cup rather, and continued iteration of several maps after the competition, I think it's time for round 2. Relic has integrated several community maps thus far, more are on the way, and a steady march of updates not only balances the game but brings new features, like the Live Observer mode coming in just a couple weeks from now. With a $2,000 endorsement towards the prize pool from Relic Entertainment, let us all once again work together to raise the standard of community mapmaking in Company of Heroes 3 and make some friends along the way. The Co-World Builders Discord is proud to host a $2,000 plus community CoHtography competition. Keep reading below for all the details. So just a brief overview. The TLDR, $2,000 plus prize pool. We've got the $2,000 from Relic, we've got some leftover community funds, and I'm also accepting donations via Streamlab, more on that later. So all map categories are allowed 1 versus 1 to 4 versus 4, and again we're aiming for that quick match level quality. The big difference now is that this competition is not anonymous. Mappers can upload their own maps to the workshop, so there's no little bottleneck here with me. We're having a 2 maps per mapper maximum, just so we get like the highest quality. We can put all of our efforts into 1 or 2 maps per player, and we're not kind of flooding the whole thing with like 8 maps from one mapper. Map submissions are due Sunday, March 2nd, so that's about 3.5 months from now. There's going to be 2 to 3 feedback periods that are like 4 weeks each, so the competition is going to end sometime in late May or June. And then we're going to have a similar scoring system to the first competition, where that trusted community members, mappers, and a couple Relicans maybe are going to be judging the maps and scoring them. I'm also open to the possibility of community voting, but I want to also prioritize like security, so that we don't have one person voting so many times for the same map and adjusting the scores, things like that. And also making sure that we're not having mappers voting for their own maps. But again, I'm open to suggestions. If anyone has anything, let me know. So, without further ado, let's keep moving on. So the objectives. The primary goal of the competition is to create a group of maps at the highest quality in terms of gameplay, balance, and aesthetics, so that they can be included in the quick match ladder. Of course, the only thing certain in life are death and taxes. So the decision to include any maps from the competition is ultimately up to Relic. And while it is a competition in name, I like to think of it more as a collaborative project between players, content creators, mappers, and the wider community to make the best maps that we can. There's a lot of secondary objectives here too. We can bring back some seasoned mappers to Co3, because with the idea of getting a little money at the end of a few months of effort, I think is a good motivator. We can share tools of the trade and other capabilities of the editor that maybe someone figured out that seems obvious, but maybe a newer mapper just had no idea existed, and maybe create an interest in map making, get some new mappers into the stage here, and maybe even raise the quality of gameplay by explaining how map making and certain mechanics work together to make the experience, and then we're kind of raising the skill level as we have more players kind of figuring these things out, or maybe testing reveals something new, who knows. So quick overview about the process. This time, it's pretty straightforward. Mappers are going to upload their maps to the Steam Workshop. They're going to send me a DM via Discord, and then you're going to have your own channel for the map in the Co-World Builders Discord. And then we're going to go kind of back and forth with the map maker, with the community members, kind of sharing feedback, sharing updates, asking questions in that Discord channel. Just a bit more, I'll go into this more with the information for the participants document. Basically, things aren't anonymous anymore. No worries about being secretive. Maps have to be original, though. So we don't want Co1 remakes. We don't want Co2 remakes. We don't want a adaptation of like a Co3 single player mission map. We want totally new projects. We want original projects. But that being said, I'm also accepting maps within about 6 months of like newness. So anything uploaded since like May 1st, 2024, about six and a half months from today, is acceptable to be submitted. So maybe you could have a map that's like 80% done that you've already uploaded, and then you can have a new project you've been working on to kind of have your 2 entries. And then after the submission period ends on March 2nd, we're going to have 2, maybe 3 month-long cycles of 1 week of no updates and just feedback from these community judges, and then 3 weeks of iteration upon those updates. And then at the very end, we're going to be having the judges scoring those maps. And once again, further details can be found looking at either of these 2 documents here. And then a quick note about the prize pool incentive. Relic, again, donating $2,000 to the prize pool. We've got about $100 left over from the declined Santuario prize, which was the runner-up in the first competition. Hey, Piper. Little Schnauzer's being a bit grumbly. Okay. If you'd like to donate to the prize pool, I have a Streamlabs link here. You can donate, I think, as little as $1. All of it goes to the prize pool. And then I want to read this part carefully. So the quantity and quality of submissions will determine how community funds, that is anything, that $100 plus anything extra donated, how community funds will be allocated. If there are 4 or less maps competing for the top spots, everything else is kind of not very good, then maybe that extra money will just expand those top 4 prizes. But if there's a lot of strong submissions, then the first $100 and other contributions will go to lower scoring maps. These choices and the breakdown of funds will ultimately be up to me, but I'll be consulting with the judges, be consulting with the participants, mappers and judges, and potentially Relic. I'm envisioning like a $30 to $50 minimum prize, just because there might be like 8 maps that are really good, and maybe we get like $300-400 from the community like we did last time. And I'm, divided. Maybe there's like $60 left in the pot, and we're only up to like the 6th place. But maybe I think this, the top 8 maps should get some rewards. So maybe we'll split that 60 into 30 for that 7th and 8th place map. Piper, you need to chill. You need to chill. Thank you. Okay. So scoring, I'll definitely go over this more in, when the time comes in a few months from now. No. Sit. She's not going to sit. So the scoring system is basically going to work just like it did in the first competition. You can watch this video breakdown here for how, what the different categories are, the scores, kind of what factors to consider. I was looking at it earlier, and I think I'm going to change some things around, maybe add some categories. Consult with Will, consult with other veteran mappers on what things I should add, what might be weighted too much or too little. Once again, judges, you can pick which categories you want to score. If you only want to score 1v1, you only have to score the 1v1 maps. If you only want to score 4v4 maps, you only have to score 4v4 maps. And then, once again, it's like an average of score. So if you have 10 judges scoring 1v1 maps, how do I explain this? I've written this out so many times. But basically, it's like you get a percent of your maximum, like the final, because the raw point value is going to change because you have a different number of judges in each category. You're essentially getting an average of judges' scores as your map's final score. So that in this way we can have 10 judges scoring one category, 6 judges scoring another category, and just have those scores all together, because I didn't want to kind of divide the map up into different categories. I wasn't sure how many maps I'm going to get. In this way, it just kind of rewards the best work no matter the size of the map. Yeah, once again, any questions or concerns, just send me a DM on Discord. That's totally fine. Really quick, how to submit your map. Very straightforward. Go here for more details. Like I said before, the 3 steps are upload your map to the Steam Workshop, join the World Builders Discord server if you haven't already, and then just send me a DM and let me know. There's some information I want, just some technical information, maybe some background inspiration stuff, just to get people a little interested in the map you're making. And here are just some quick guidelines. I kind of went over these already. So maximum 2 maps per person, all player counts allowed. Maps should be original. Like I said before, no remakes, no adaptations of single player maps, nothing from like 2 years ago that you uploaded like the first month the game was live and didn't really know how to use the editor, and you want to, modify it a little bit. Like, we're looking for new things. Also, I got this question before. Can more than one person create a map? Yes, but when you submit it, you have to let me know who are the co-creators. And then when it comes to prizes, if your map wins a prize, I'm going to send that money to one person via PayPal, and then you and your group have to decide amongst yourselves how that prize pool money is being split up. Also, this is important here. Another piece of feedback I received is that sometimes submitting maps like in their finished state is too much, because you might want to really overhaul something because someone points out an issue, but it's so much work to destroy what you've already created and then remake it. So I'm allowing maps to be submitted in a kind of draft state. More on this in the information for participants document, but basically you can have a territory map, some outlines of flow, important cover, and you can get some early feedback on, so you don't have to do all this extra work of creating and then destroying what you've already made. Yeah, then the only thing is, they should be like 100%. So they can be like 90% done. Like, maybe you missed some out of bounds territory. Maybe you want to retile the map, fix the ground textures, and the deadline is coming up March 2nd. So all maps are going to be like totally 100% completed at the end of the first feedback period. Yeah, so that's going to be 4 weeks after the submission deadline. So that'll be at the start of the next. So by the start of the second feedback period, your map should be theoretically, right, air quotes here, theoretically able to send to Relic for them to make a couple adjustments on their end and put it into the game. I don't think very many maps are going to be at that state, because we're all going to be looking at for little things, but that's kind of the idea we're going for here. So there's a little leeway here, but also I could be getting a lot of maps. I think the prize pool money is a big incentive for players to participate. But I don't want to be having to sift through like 20-25 maps and having to score some that really just aren't meeting the bar, aren't meeting the expectation. Yeah. So closing thoughts. Once again, any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, put them in the World Builders Discord server. Join it if you aren't already in it. And then again, final disclaimer, even though the goal is to like make really good community maps that Relic will want to put into the game, their discretion of what to do is, ultimately up to them. So even if the first place winner, seems like a really fun map, for whatever reason, if Relic doesn't want it, that's no guarantee it's going to be in the game. They might even take the 6th place map, 1 through 4, they could be really strong, Relic adds them, and then they're like, we're going to take the 8th place map too. So it's really up to Relic. Just because the competition ends doesn't mean you can't keep iterating on your map. Like I mentioned before, we had a few maps like Sands of War and a couple of others still get some updates after they were launched, after the competition ended, like even a couple of months ago. So, yeah, that's all for me. And then all the links, all important links you can find here. There's a Code World Builder Discord invite. There is a link to the announcement document because this is also a post in other documents. There's the donation link to Streamlabs. There's information for participants here. There's a style guide. It's a little updated from last year, but it's virtually the same. I mean, mapping hasn't changed that much. Here's an old style guide overview. Like I said, I won't be making a new one because things have not really changed. So I'll just link that here for anyone that wants a video form. Here's another small document that just has a bunch of map making resources all together. And then finally, this here will have all of the documents related to the competition. It will have video playlists. It has a Steam Workshop collection. If you're a content creator or streamer or whatever, and you want to make video content on maps of the competition, I've uploaded a couple of logos here. There's the yellow one you see at the top of all these docs. There's a silver one, and then I might upload a banner or two. They're all from CoHpen. CoHpen did a fantastic job getting me these logos, this art. I'm very appreciative. And yeah, like I said, that document has everything very important. Yeah, that's all for me, folks. Thank you, and good luck. And I hope to see you all participating in the competition. If you're not making a map, you're not being a judge, at least playing some maps, giving some feedback here and there when you can. And yeah, that's all. Thanks, folks. Take care.